Hello guys and welcome to another video. I'm taking advantage of the fact that I have this portable shelf and I filled it with every single book that I want to either donate or sell or just get rid of. Because I've had these books for over 10 years, most of them, and I've been carrying them from England to Spain and from a different house in Spain to this one. And I think it's time that I let them go because I don't have a lot of shelf space left, and I feel like the shelf space that I do have deserves to be filled with books that I love, or at least like. But it's time to say goodbye to these books. So today we are unhauling, I don't know, a lot of books, so let's go. I think there are three categories in the books that I'm unhauling today. They're either classics that I've read for English class, they have been gifts, or they are YA books that I no longer like. So let's start over here. This El Camino, I read it for the equivalent of English class in Spain, which is called lengua, which can directly translate to tongue. I remember liking this when I read it, but this is my dad's book, like his edition of the book. So this is just going back to his library. It's been over 10 years, so it's about damn time that I give this back to my dad. First book, unhauled. Then we have Zodiac, and I can remember exactly when I bought this book. I was in Barnes & Noble in Houston, Texas with my friend McKenna. I was staying the summer over at her house, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be quirky and buy a book that I've never heard of before because of the synopsis and the cover. The concept was cool. Like, depending on the planet you were born in, you were from a different zodiac sign, and that kind of like translated into your personality. But I don't know, I didn't like the writing, and it just never got anywhere. So I'm sorry, goodbye. Then we have a classic, Fahrenheit 451. I remember having to read it for English class. This one is pretty banged up, and I'm surprised I hadn't annotated it. It's probably because I did not read the whole thing. I skimmed through the end. That's why I did not understand it. This one, well, I will probably give this to my dad because, as you can see, this is his bookmark. So this one can be a gift to my dad. And then we have probably a controversial one, An Ember in the Ashes, the first edition cover that they had. I wanted to love it because a lot of people did, and this series is a lot of people's favorite. And it just did not click with me when I read it for the first time. It was 8 years ago or so, and it's just not my thing. I don't know why. I didn't like the protagonist, and I didn't like the situation she was in. It was just really sad. So it just, I don't know, wasn't my vibe. I would give this another shot because everyone loves it, but honestly, it's been on my shelf for 8 years and I have never gravitated towards it. So I'm just gonna say this one's not for me and I'm gonna let it go. And then we have a classic, A Tale of Two Cities. I read this in 10th grade and it's not annotated, which is weird, but it's pretty banged up. I just remember finding this boring. So goodbye. I don't know if even my dad would want that one. Then we have Sophocles, another Greek play. I'm never gonna read this, but I might just donate this to my family library. We don't actually have a library, it's just the books we have in common downstairs. I'm never going to pick that up ever, so. Then we have El Código da Vinci, which is the Da Vinci Code in Spanish, and I tried to read this one summer. It just wasn't my thing, so I'm gonna have to let this go. I bought this for €3, so it's really not sad to let this go. It's a no for me. Then we get to the gift section. I don't know. This might have been like a freebie that I got in a bookstore while buying another book. They sometimes do that. Just look at the cover. I don't think I need to explain this one further. Then we have a gift from my grandma. C'est moi qui ai le professeur. No, I just don't like reading in French. Don't feel like losing brain cells over this, so not for me, goodbye. Then we have another French book, Pour un... Le Dieu. It's really hard to read those letters in that font, so, and the picture, oh my god, I hadn't even noticed. The woman has her breasts out, so... What even is this one about? You can tell it's old because the pages are literally brown. And then we have, this one is sad to let go of, but The Passenger Duology by Alexander Bracken. In case you don't know, when I was a youngster, like 14, 15, I fell in love with the Darkest Minds trilogy. The Darkest Minds was my favorite book of all time, followed by Never Fade, Never Failed, killed me. And then In the Afterlight was okay. I was already like done writing the high of the trilogy, but I really wanted to read more from Alexander Bracken because I loved her characters before and her relationships before. So I picked up Passenger, and I feel like this is more new adult than young adult, or at least it felt that way for me. This one, instead of being focused on a found family, is focused on the relationship, which surprisingly I did not like as much because it was just like two characters hopping from time period to time period, and it just did not stick with me at all. And then I asked my friend McKenna I might not want to let this go. I asked her to buy me this edition because they didn't ship it to Spain. It's hardcover and it's signed and dedicated to me by Alexander Bracken. Did I not let this one go? I never got around to reading this one, but I forgot it was also dedicated to me. Okay, so since this one is a hardback, I don't think I'm gonna let this one go. It's dedicated to me, but the Passenger ones, it doesn't even match, so I think this one I am letting go. But I can't give one up if it's dedicated to me, okay. Then we have the Endgame trilogy, I guess, and I was really into it when I read it. This one I bought at the same time as the Zodiac book, so not a really smart move on my part. It's in pretty good condition. This is about the end of the world as we know it by alien invasion, and it's basically like, what is it, 12 or 24 families that have been trained since the beginning of time in order to get into this like Hunger Games situation where they have to fight each other and find different keys in order to have their family and their clan be the one chosen by the alien race to survive the apocalypse. That makes sense. It's very bloody, it's adult, I'm pretty sure, and I loved this one. And when I reread it, I liked it again, but then this one, yes, it's hardcover, I hate it as well. It was just like pretty meh, and then this one came and it was so bad. Like for some reason, it's a third of the size of the others. All my favorite characters die, and it's just underwhelming. Especially since it took me 8 years to read the trilogy, so it was an underwhelming ending. I'm letting this go, and this is just like a companion novella. I have a bookmark here when I stopped reading, so like after 4 pages, that's how far I made it. So I'm pretty sure not a lot of people have this, so I'm hoping like a real fan finds this and enjoys it because it's in very good condition. So I am letting that go, and good riddance. We have The Odyssey. This brings a lot of warm memories for me because I read this in 9th grade, and my friend Brooke was in my English class, and we just had like so many funny anecdotes from this class, but it's annotated because they forced me to annotate it in order to get a good grade. I don't see myself ever rereading this again, so it's going to have to go. And it is The Odyssey, yeah, Greek mythology, blah blah blah. No thank you. Then we have Baudolino by Umberto Eco. This I had to read over the summer for 10th grade English class, and let me tell you, the first couple of chapters are written in basically gibberish, and I was reading this like, what the f am I actually reading? Do I just not speak English? What the hell? And I thought I was losing my mind. It was so weird. This whole book is like a trip. Like, the person who wrote this must have been super high. So, goodbye. I hope I never see you again. Then we have Crime Never Pays. This is a collection of crime-centered novellas. I'm pretty sure it has like a Sherlock Holmes novella in here and an Agatha Christie novella. We read this for English class in Spain, and English class as in actually learning to speak English, and it's annotated, which is horrible, so I'm not going to be able to sell this one, but I don't want it on my bookshelf, so goodbye. Then we have The Tempest, another play. It doesn't even start until halfway through the book because you need so much context and so much explanation to be able to read this and enjoy this. So this one's also annotated, of course, because they forced me to do it. And look, sometimes half the page is just like trying to decipher what it means. And then we have Purple Hibiscus. This cover alone was a trend in my school. Like when they gave these books to us, everyone was like, look, I'm the cover. Yeah, and that's basically all that people did with this book, because I'm pretty sure no one read the whole thing. I read it and I enjoyed it more than like the Shakespeare ones we got, but this was dark. It's definitely not for younger readers. I don't know why they made us read it that young. Even though I enjoyed it more than the other books, I'm gonna have to let you go just because it's not my vibe. But it was really well written, and if you like darker books, then I do recommend it. Then we have Of Mice and Men, and this one I'm pretty sure my dad read over the summer, so I'm just gonna give it to him because it's also annotated. So there we go. That movie and that book is heartbreaking, so I do not recommend you reading it. Then we have Witch Child by Celia Rees. This one I read 7th grade English class. What is there to say? It was fine. I did not like it. Then we have two books that were presents, and it's Animales Fantásticos y Dónde Encontrarlos. So fantastic creatures and where to find them. Is that what it's called? By J.K. Rowling. I'm pretty sure this is the script for the first movie. Clearly this person didn't know me when they gifted me this. And then we have Cursed Child, which is these are the only 2 Harry Potter books that I own. I know. Yeah, I don't like them. Let's just say I did not enjoy getting them as presents, but thank you anyway. It's the thought that counts. Then we have The Long, the Short, and the Tall, and this is like a short play, but I remember liking it more than the other books in that grade, but just no, not for me. Even the cover. You can write a novel. When I went through my I'm gonna be a writer phase, never read this. Then we have Becoming a Writer. Same thing. This one I did highlight some of it, but it also had an annotation, which is why I bought it. This was like $2, so I don't have the brain power to read a book about writing. Then we have Divergent. I've told this story many times, but I read this and I was really liking it, and then they killed my favorite character, then I stopped liking it, watched the movie, did not enjoy it, and I know how it ends. I know the end of the trilogy that everyone hates, so have not felt the need to pick up the other 2 books. Then we have another one, Julius Caesar by Shakespeare. This one is also annotated and highlighted in my horrible 9th grade handwriting. She can't keep secrets. You can clearly tell by the things I annotate that I did not know what to annotate, and I was just annotating because my grade depended on it, so this one's also going to go. The Young Elites, another one that I bought because I enjoyed the Legend trilogy by Marie Lu, and I was like, I'm just gonna keep going, and then I read it, and the protagonist was the villain, or at least the anti-hero, and I did not enjoy that one bit. I hated the protagonist, so this one has to go. Besides, since then I haven't read anything by the author, so I'm not gonna pick it up again. And we're nearing the end, and we have the 100 trilogy. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that loved the first 2, super in love with the OTP, mainly because I had watched the TV show and read the third one. After a couple of pages, I realized it was absolutely terrible writing, terrible plot, terrible characters, and I was like, I have wasted 2 books and a lot of time and money in my life to read this, and it made me really mad, and I read the rest of the book. So this one, I'm sorry, I think it's funny, and there are so many fun hate memories attached to it, but it finally has to go. I'm so done with it. Then we have our last ones, which are this art book. My sister bought this for me, and I'm really thankful. Here are the 2 other ones. It's like kind of like middle grade Magic Girl Center books, and I really love the art style, the aesthetic. It really reminded me of which I loved as a kid, and kind of like the Winx saga as well. But I feel like I've outgrown them by now, and I think there's someone out there who is going to enjoy them and appreciate them more than I do. So these have to go, but you know, it was a fun time while it lasted. These are the ones that I would most enjoy rereading out of all of the other ones that I'm going to unhaul. So that's it. That's all for this video today. I have officially unhauled about 35 books, and that's a lot of books, but I don't know how booktubers can do like unhaulings every year? Because it's taking me 10 years to accumulate enough books to unhaul 35 books. So maybe in like 10 years I will do another unhaul. But yeah, leave a like if you like this video. Comment down below if I unhauled any of your favorite videos, or if you agree with me on hauling all the classics that I've accumulated along the years of English classes. And subscribe if you haven't already. Click that bell button so you get notifications every time I post a new video. I post videos every single Monday, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye!